Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're going to start this video off a little different than the others because I got some exciting news to share. So the exciting news that I have is that Steve over at Sneveys Offroad reached out to me and he would like to support this build and the channel and also help support you guys as well. So we're teamed up with Sneveys Offroad. Funny thing, I actually got another package delivered while I was in the middle of filming this. So that's awesome. So whether you guys are looking for performance parts, suspension parts, fabrication parts, recovery gear, pretty much anything off-road related, SneveysOffroad.com is your place to go. He carries all the top brands and pretty much will have anything you need. And if you don't find it on his website, give him a call at the number here or shoot him an email, and I'm sure you can find it for you at a really good price. Full disclaimer, I still paid for all the parts here in front of you, but Steve was kind enough to give me a discount to help support this build and support the channel, so thank you very much, Steve. It's going to be a huge help to getting this project done. So with that, anything you guys need off-road related, let's support those who support us, and head over to SneveysOffroad.com, let them know that Cody sent you from Altered Life, and get yourself your next parts for your project. So thank you again, Steve, and let's jump back into part 3 of this build. We have a lot to cram into this video, so stay tuned. Here we go. I'm not going to open up any of these parts I got in this video, so if you want to know what I ordered, you're going to have to stay tuned to the next video. But I got one thing I have to do before we get back into this build. So there we go. So by this point, I hope you guys are caught up with where we're at. In the last video, we got the Motorbuilt sliders on. We got the Swag Off-Road body mounts tacked in, and we continued framing this entire floor from scratch. What I'd like to accomplish in this video is getting the whole trans tunnel kind of framed out, shaped out, and starting to sheet the front of the floor. I also need to get that dash out because I'm not going to be using the factory dash, I'm making a full custom dash, and I got a few things I got to take care of up there, and it's also going to give me some room to work with the trans tunnel. So I think that's where we're going to start today off. We're going to get that dash ripped out of the Jeep. Well, I will admit, that was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And there was also a lot of junk up in there. A lot of pine needles, a lot of certain someone's hair. And that is what it looks like with the dash stripped. The main goal of getting the dash out was to give me more room to work in here for a trans tunnel. And as you can see now, I have a lot of space to work. So in the future, roll cage, custom dash, but for now, center console will be in the future. For now, trans tunnel. The metal I'm using to frame out the trans tunnel, this is 1/2 inch square tubing instead of the 3/4 that I was using, so there's a comparison difference. The only reason I kind of stepped down to a 1/2 inch was just for clearance, because I figured 1/2 inch, I'm going to get a little bit more room. That way I can get it a little tighter to the transfer case, transmission. And I don't know yet how much room I'm going to need for my seat, so I figured step down and frame with that instead of the big stuff. So I think it'll work, but we'll find out. I just clearanced out the remaining trans tunnel a little bit more. Plus, I knew I needed to cut more out of the floor for the drive shaft, so I think that's good. Did it on both the passenger and the driver. So now I got to get this 1/2 inch kind of up in place, get an idea of where to start on this. Again, I have no clue what I'm doing, but
I think what I'm gonna do is the same thing I did for like this top piece, is do a long piece from here to here, build it, and then cut it back here and taper it down into the floor. Again, I don't know. You guys are gonna figure this out with me. All right. Here is how the trans tunnel's looking. I think it looks good. Definitely not upset about it. It's I think it's a good shape. My only concern is I just hope it's not too tall right here for the seats, because I don't want, I have to figure out my seat mounting locations off the cage, and yeah, I just hope it's not interfering. But that's why everything's tacked. So as you can see here, the transfer case sticks through. So when I sheet that area, I'm gonna have to kind of make a hump around it and deal with that, but that's okay. And then also you can see I chopped out that crossbar, added those two pieces to go up. That way the drive shaft has area to go up, and then I added that bar, and then I cut off that and took two pieces down to there. Again, I'm going to probably have to add a hump in there for the drive shaft, but I didn't want it coming straight to here because I need room for the roll bar that ties the two B pillars together to go down there. So trying to think things through, but again, with this whole project, I have no clue what I'm doing. And you guys are watching it, so here's how it looks from the passenger side. Not too bad. I just hope it's not too tall for the seat brackets. One thought I had was I could carry the floor itself over and go more straight up to there. That way your passenger would have a little bit more room. But my thinking behind this, oh God, come on. I'm trying to show the people. All right. So my thinking by having this much space under the floor here is for exhaust. So that'll give me a little bit more room to route exhaust back. Also, I plan on doing an anti-wrap bar. And if I can tie the anti-wrap bar from the axle all the way up maybe to the cross member, that would work out, and that would give me a little bit more room. So yeah, I'm trying to think everything through, just so I don't have to redo stuff, but I'm probably gonna have to redo stuff. What are you doing down there? What are you doing? But that's where we're at. I think the trans tunnel is looking good. I hope the seats will fit. So speaking of seats, I kind of dogged you guys a little bit and didn't show them when they showed up, but I talked about how I ordered seats and they showed up. So I can't keep them from you guys because I'm really excited to show them off. And then also, now that we have the trans tunnel built, we can maybe get them set in there a little bit, mocked up on some 2x4s to see if we're gonna run into issues. So let's check out these awesome seats. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've already seen what's inside these boxes because, yeah, I can't contain myself or have a surprise, but I'm just going to show them off. That didn't work. Yeah. You're about to find out what my accent color for this Jeep build is going to be. And it's another reason I went with this brand, because you can customize it and they're American made, which, as you know, I try to do a lot of American made products and support American made companies. So without further ado, yeah. Some PRP Enduro Elites with heated seats, finished in their vinyl. And as you can see, I got orange, gray, and the black. I am so pumped on how these turned out. They are freaking fantastic. They are super comfortable. And I just can't wait to be actually sitting in these behind the steering wheel, listening to the V8 roll. Additionally, with these bad boys, I also got a new steering wheel. So I got one of their steering wheels, obviously, with orange accents. And I got some 4.2 harnesses in orange as well. I am, again, beyond pumped about these things. They couldn't have turned out any better than what I was hoping for. Now, I want to try to get them maybe mocked up in here with some 2x4 to see if we're going to have room for them. I hope we will. I mean, not bad. I was looking at old pictures of the Jeep when I had my old factory seats in it just to see where the seat sat in the opening. And it had the bottom of the seat about where, you know, close to there. So I think that's a decent position. The wheel well is clearanced enough back for that. I don't know if that's where I would recline. So yeah, you know I cannot not try and sit in it. I'm gonna jump in this sucker and see how she feels and hope either the wood holds and I don't break any tacks. Just slide into here. Okay. I mean, honestly, that seating position isn't horrible. Huh. Honestly, the height's not bad. That's actually good. I was afraid it was too high, but where I'm at with the windshield's not horrible. Okay, so the factory steering wheel has the spline, so it'll actually like lock in. It's about where the factory wheel was. You can see how much smaller the PRP wheel is. I think this is like a 17-inch wheel and this is a 15. I don't know, don't quote me on that. Definitely the smaller wheel is going to give me a little bit more room to get in and out with the wheel on. Also, I want to have the hub so I can take it off, set it aside, and then yeah, plenty of room to get out like this. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Ooh, we need to get the door on so I can see if the door is going to hit this. Alright, well that's clearance at the door. Elbow height's good. Sit here and cruise. There's a lot of things to figure out at this without actually like having the roll cage and dash but honestly, going back to the main reason we're doing this is checking the transom clearance. So far, I don't think we're too far off. Both seats are in, looking good. What do you think? Okay. Yeah, super happy with that. They look in my opinion, they look great in there. I am really excited. Also, a little bit more room in between the seats than I thought. So that's nice because I might have to inch them in a bit. I don't know. We'll have to, that's going to come in the future. But the main thing is trans tunnel clearance, and I think we're there. I think we got it, Luna. Not too bad. So looking from the passenger side here, there is the driver's seat front 2 tabs. So you can tell they're there. And I have clearance with the trans tunnel. And I think the driver's seat isn't bad. The passenger seat's, I think, just a hair low. But what I would like to do is put these seats on sliders. So, you know, you can move them back and forth. Clearance from the wheel well, pretty good. I don't know where my harness bar and my cage is going to go yet. But at least I have room to use the reclining feature of the seats. And real quick, here is the clearance between the recliner adjuster on the passenger seat. Then we get down low, and you can see right here, this seat is just below the tub, and the driver's seat is just like flush with the tub. And I think sitting in it, the seats could go up a little bit more, which would help me with if I need more room with the trans tunnel, but I don't think I do. And then the rear seat tabs, with that going down, there's plenty of room back there. As you can see, that's a little bit higher or flush with there. And with me sitting in it, that's not too bad. On the driver's side, that's the clearance. As for clearance with the trans tunnel, because that's what we're working on right now, I think we'll be good. Now, feet-wise, this is a little awkward, and the factory, you know, gas pedal's right here, so I'm gonna have to kind of shift it over a little to give myself some room. Well, hell, let me jump in it real quick so I can show you where my feet are at. Croc life going on, but this is about where the factory gas pedal was, and as you can see, my heel is like back behind there. So I'm gonna have to shift it to like here. So my heel rests here and kind of like have the gas pedal where the brake pedal is. And with the Turbo 400, there's gonna be no more clutch pedal, so you don't need to worry about that. I had Lauren come down and jump in since this is gonna be mainly her seat. And she said her natural sitting position actually was pretty comfortable in that location. She just said that she felt like the seat was a little low. So we'll see once I figure out a slider thing. But again, seat mounting is all coming with when we build the cage. So for right now, just wanted to make sure we didn't make this trans tunnel too high. It looks like we didn't. So we can get back to work on this. But before we continue on with this trans tunnel, let's get some B-roll in of these awesome seats. Got the seats back out of it, and I just tacked in this piece here. Originally I was going to do this whole section as like a removable thing, but I don't really need to remove anything here. So I'm only going to do this front section as a removable piece, because then that gives me access to the bolts and the linkages and all that stuff there. So that little piece adds a little bit more strength. But looking at this, I think that's all the pieces I'm going to need to add for the skeleton. I'm pretty happy with everything, and it seems like it's been forever since I started it, but it's only been like about a month. the weld out process in my head, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do from pretty much here forward, because I don't want to weld these up yet. I know I mocked the seats and they look good, but in case I have to move them back a little bit more. So the whole back of this area, it's not super necessary to weld that up first. We can get this started, so then the floor can be put in, so then we can start the cage, and then we can work on the backside later. I'm going to leave the body mounts and sliders and everything bolted to the frame and rigid. Just again, that's going to help in my mind with some of the warping. And then hopefully jumping from like corner to corner and working outside in. Hopefully nothing will warp. So yeah, I'm going to start getting this cleaned up, and then we'll start welding. Well, it's a bit smoky in here, but I got all the joints welded. Again, they're not pretty, but everything I could easily get to from the top are sitting right there. So a lot of the joints, like the undersides of all that, one side, get the tub off, I'm going to flip it upside down. That way I don't have to work on my back. Nothing seemed to really warp. I got the body mounts welded, the plates welded in all the way up into, those areas. So yeah. The next step is we're gonna have to take a flap wheel and all the top surfaces here where the sheet metal is gonna lay. I have to make sure that that's ground down flush. And then grind that down flush, start making templates for sheet metal. Whoa. A lot of grinding. At least this time I remembered my respirator, so my lungs don't hurt after all that. Well, I have all the joints ground flush so that the floor, lays as flat as possible. I know it's not going to be even, but do my best. One thing I forgot I wanted to do with this is for the body mounts here, instead of having a regular nut and washer, I would like to do kind of like a flange nut style, like with a square and then like a bar, so that way I could just slide the nut in, line the bolt up, and zip it in with the impact. I don't need to get like a wrench or something on this side. So before I get into the sheet metal, I think I'm gonna do this real quick. So I gotta come up with the idea and figure out the best way to do it. Okay, so here's what I have going on. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. What this is going to do is, this is my new washer for my body mount bolt. Take the nut. So we're going to weld the nut to that, and then our bolt's going to come up through. And my idea is the plate that I welded on the frame, we're going to weld these suckers in. So when the bolt comes up through and tightens, it's going to twist and pretty much lock and then cinch down and not spin. That way I don't have to get, a socket or a wrench in from the backside. I can just slide this in, line it up, and call it a day.
So that's the idea. I think it'll work, and I'm gonna do it. Gonna do the rest now. You wanna know where a good place for a white dog to lay is? Right in all the metal shavings under the Jeep. Huh. Anywho, I got all these done. So you guys saw me do that one, but here's the others. And stretch across here. There's that one. And that one. I don't know if I can get low enough to... Can you see that? Good? Maybe? Nope, can't get it low enough. But these are below here, so shouldn't have any issues with that. I think I can work on sheeting some of this area. I'm gonna have to, you know, form around here, figure that out, as well as for the little hump in the sheet metal here for the drive shaft. So yeah, we're gonna get into that now. So we got most of everything for the trans tunnel cut out here. Now here you can see why this is cut up and clearanced. So that should be plenty to clear the drive shaft, I hope. I guess now's the time to start cutting sheet metal. First time using a nibbler, success. One thing I've learned is pretty much every little movement you have, it shows up in the cut. All right, let's get this first piece in. Edges still aren't the best, as you can see. They're still a little wavy. What I'm going to do is get this lined up, tack it in place so it doesn't move, then I can come back and hit those edges. Drive shaft should definitely clear there. Ooh, look how pretty that looks. Clearance for the breather. So I'm going to get that tacked in place and start working on the next little like drive shaft tunnel. I'm going to show you these two pieces up close, and I'm just going to start hammering out the rest of the floor. The only other piece I might show maybe more in depth is the piece that goes around the Atlas. But then the rest of it, you guys got the idea from me making those two, how the rest of this is going to go. Don't know much about finishing sheet metal. I don't know if I tack all the way across and grind it smooth. But I know like big areas like this where sheets meet, I'm going to be doing a seam sealer. So prime the floor, seam seal it, and coat it with Raptor liner. So it'll be Raptor liner just like that, just like my old floor. Pretty happy with how this is coming. It looks good. I plan on going through and like tacking all the skin sheet metal to these as well. And then same thing, seam sealing every joint under here before it gets Raptor lined underneath as well. The floor is officially started. 2 pieces in, crap ton to go. All right, let's see how that tweak did. Push this side down. Oh, hey guys. Clamps are your friends. Fish are friends, not food. Oh no, not my clamp. No, clamp on fire. Get out of there. Holy crap, talk about a productive video. So much got done, like a lot got done, and I couldn't be happier. The entire front half of the floor is fully welded up and good to go for this stage. I know what you guys are saying. Cody, just show us the floor. We want to see it. Let's look at it. It's a bit shiny, but yeah. I am very, very proud on how that turned out. I really can't explain how happy I am with this entire thing. So I know this video is getting extremely long, longer than the others, but I really wanted to have this front half of the floor finished up here in part 3 because there's going to be a break now between part 3 and part 4 because I got to get the roll cage started before I finish out the back of the floor. For now, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. The floor turned out great. I am super proud about how it turned out, and I honestly couldn't be happier. I really had no clue what I'm doing. Once the seam sealer gets in and it's painted and coated, I'll be able to clean it up and make it look real good. Cut out the floor where the pedals were a little bit because there was that factory hump, and I just wanted to, since I'm shifting the pedals over to the left, I wanted to get that removed so I had plenty of room for my feet and it didn't feel awkward. So I got that taken care of. I got the hump for the Atlas sectioned out. There's minimal space underneath, but it'll do for now. I can always kind of tap out things and adjust later. I got the center section still open because that's going to be like a removable piece. But all in all, I love it, and I hope you guys like it too because that was a lot of work. Real quick, huge thank you again to Sneveys Offroad. Check out the link in the description to his website. Also check out his Facebook page and his Instagram page. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to get some of the parts I did at the prices I got, and it's helping this build along. So thank you again, Steve, for supporting everything that's going on here. If you're new to this build and to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And with that, this is actually going to be probably the last video of 2020. It's mid-December, holidays are coming up, and I'm still going to get work done, but I probably just won't have a video up until 2021. So with that, you guys have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Take care.